So, hello and welcome to episode 2 of our Pater Noster podcast. So, we're delighted today to welcome two sisters here from the Carmelites from the Aged and Infirm in America. So, we have Sister Leda. Welcome, Sister.
Thank you.
And we have Sister Theresa.
Thank you.
No, it's good you're over here. We've obviously the biggest connection we have is between yourselves and your foundress, Mother Angeline, the Venerable, who came from our parish in Moss End. Maybe you could tell us a bit about her, sister.
About Mother Angeline?
A kind of overview of her, yeah.
Well, Mother Angeline basically started our order for the Aged and Infirm. It's Carmelite Sisters for the Aged and Infirm. And our order is specifically to take care of the elderly. We sponsor nursing homes in the United States and several of our states in America. And then we also have one home here in Ireland, which is called Our Lady's Manor.
You didn't know Mother Angeline in life, sister?
No, unfortunately, I did not personally had the opportunity to meet her, but I started working in one of the homes upstate New York around 1984, and just the whole atmosphere and her charism just lived through the other sisters that you could just feel the warmth and just the blessing that you got just being in the home. And it hit me working there and reading the charism of Mother and looking even at her picture. And it was a picture of her as an older adult. So it wasn't even when she was young, but she aged so gracefully. And I just thought, gee, she's so beautiful and so gracious and how she aged. And she didn't mind having pictures taken of herself being old. She wasn't ashamed of being old, and she loved the elderly. So that was just jumped out at me, and looking at the picture, and charism and her whole philosophy of taking care of every elderly person and bringing Christ to him. It just made me feel like, well, this is a place for me.
Maybe, Brian, you could remind us about the early life of Mother Angeline, where we are just now, and the link that we have with her to here.
Yeah, so obviously, as you know, sisters, that Mother Angeline was born in Brocagh, County Tyrone in Ireland. She was there as a young girl, and the family then moved to Scotland, to here, to Moss End. Initially, briefly, to New Stevenson, where they attended Carfin Parish, where we've just visited for Mass this evening. So she was there briefly, and the family then moved down to Moss End, where we are today. And Mother was obviously in this parish for a good number of years, where she formed her vocation to religious life, and it was from here that she left. It's from here in Moss End that she left then to join the Little Sisters of the Poor in Glasgow. So really, Moss End was the kind of beginnings of her religious vocation in life.
Right. One of the best bits about this trip was always when you bring people from Mother's order, the sisters, people connected, is to take them through that doorway. That to me, that's as Father Christoph called it. It's your holy door, because it's from there that Mother left as a layperson and effectively passed the boundary, that leap of faith, to move on to Glasgow and become a Little Sister of the Poor, religious life.
Right.
What was it like crossing that door?
For myself?
Yeah.
Oh.
Your first time here, sisters. So.
I think being a sister, because I had discerned for a good couple of years, making sure that was the decision and where the Lord was calling me to be. But I knew in my heart that even as a young person, that the elderly just stood out special to me. And when I started working at the home, it was an easier decision. Once I made that decision, a bundle of nerves at first, you get excited and you get nervous and everything else. But then, once the decision was made, and I knew right there and then that was the right decision. And I'm 38 years down the line, and here I am.
So how did you choose that order? Were you aware of them? Was there a local presence of the sisters where you lived in New York? You grew up in.
There was a local presence when I was working at the home, because although there was several Carmelite sisters that worked at the home, so I looked at another order, and it worked with the kids, and they had some inner city kids to work with and some elderly, but I would have been, I think, called to be all over in that order, and it just didn't seem right to me. But I talked to the vocation director for the Carmelite sisters. Her name was Mary Vincent Marciano, and she made you feel so comfortable in yourself. Like wasn't judging. She was just accepting, knowing that, we all come from different lives, and it's okay. You don't have to be perfect. The goal really is to have perfection in your own sanctification, but also to be there for the elderly, to help them and to love them, and just bringing Christ to them every single day is a gift for my own self.
What about yourself, sister? I know we've briefly touched upon it with the school children the other day. How did you come to be a religious sister for this order?
Well, I actually was looking to pay off my college loan, and I had applied at another nursing home in the area. Did not last long. The conditions there were completely different from ours. It was, I hate to use the word institution, but it truly was. When I started working at, it's called Garvey Manor, and it's also now Our Ladies of the Allegheny as well. It's been developed. That particular nursing home was a true home for the residents. It wasn't an institution. People cared. There was that essence within our homes, and it's that there is a difference. We say that the difference is love, and I think that stems from Mother Angeline. The students had asked me, why do I want to be, a religious? Well, I love being a nun. I love being a religious. I love the mission and our charism of taking care of the elderly. It's like taking care of your grandparents and making sure that the love that you're giving, you would give to them, is what we do to our residents. Mother Angeline also felt that the residents should be what we should do for Christ. And you should care for them as if you were taking care of Christ himself. I feel that my religious vocation is the best way that I know how to give back that love to God. Some days are better than others, but I think that's where God, in all his mercy, allows us to be who we are, which is, human beings. We might stumble on an occasion, but you get back up. It's what you do when you do stumble that makes that character, makes that individual even stronger than before. Are there things that I wish I never did or said or went through?
Fly
100%, yeah, 100%. But would I do it different, knowing that I wouldn't be who I am today? Probably not, and I'm still growing in that way. The other thing that I've heard, or I may have reflected, or I may have read somewhere along my spiritual growth, that an individual, a saint, is someone who brings you closer to God or brings you to God. Venerable Mother Angeline has definitely done that for me on a personal level. I wouldn't have been at this vocation or this close if I had not been a religious, I don't think. So that in itself is something I'm indebted to her for. This is actually my second time here.
Yeah, as I say, she came back.
I came back.
You may not come back, we'll see. Maybe you don't want to after getting soaked.
I would recommend coming back. I felt like the first time I was walking with Mother Angeline, in her spiritual growth here. This time I'm on a different level, and it's at a deeper level. I'm definitely more quiet this time around. I'm more reflective of the areas that we've seen. The first time it was like kind of new. This time it's like on a definitely a deper spiritual level.
And you, Sister Leda, came here for the first time, obviously, to Mother Angeline's hometown in Scotland. What did it meet your expectations? Or was it what you expected? What was your reaction to it?
Yes. I was very overwhelmed with, I guess, just the spirit and being able to even just be in the town and meet so many people that knew her, and just being able to walk the path that she walked, the church down the street, meeting people, and the people who might have cared for her family, who knew her from just as a parishioner, it hits me very deeply in my heart, and it makes Mother for my own self, because I didn't have the opportunity to meeting her personally, to come alive for me. So you have shown me so many different places, and not that I'm good at remembering every town and place and everything, but it's just that whole spirit. It's just beautiful.
What's maybe Brian could recap Sister's memory, what we've done the last few days.
Yeah, we've been all over the place. I think the first thing is to mention is we have the newly unveiled statue of Venerable Mother Angeline here at the parish. So just maybe what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I just, it's so beautiful. I mean, that statue is just the liking of her. And with the older person in the wheelchair and the elderly man next to her, I could just see Mother being alive and holding their hands and walking with them as she did in life. I mean, it's just such a life reflection of her and who she was and what her charism is living now.
Of course, the Sister came, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, so Sister, you obviously came the first time. Yeah,
this
for the
is my
unveiling.
second time, but each time it's, again, maybe it's that reflective piece I was talking about before, where she was talking about, grasping the hand of the elderly. I think the expression on the statue, you captured that gentleness. The other piece that I think was that really hit home, besides, that that's Mother. Mother wasn't one that, and if you read her letters, or if you even reflect on from what you heard from other people, she was not in the limelight. This would not be her. She would not want to be. I'm not sure if I want to be.
Too late.
Yeah. This is for you, Mother. But no, she was a very humble, and in the true meaning of the word, humility. Not humble like, she did it for the welfare and what was meant for the residents, what would be for the glory of God. And that's, I think, the other piece that I keep reflecting on. Everything is for God's glory, and she always lived that. She just didn't preach it. She lived it every day. And it was no matter what you did for the residents. The other big piece is within our order, the sisters, you could be a nurse, or you could be, a social worker, you could be, an administrator, you could be a dietitian. You could be any of those scopes, but yet God created us as unique individuals, and she respected that among her sisters. And I say that because of the sisters, the older sisters I lived with. Again, we each are unique, but yet she brought out that uniqueness and the gifts that God gave us as individuals. Yeah. And she enhanced that to also enhance with caring for the residents.
What's quite fascinating for me now is how in death and how our legacy has brought together 3 countries. You know, you've got this
Sure.
great connection now with yourselves from America. We've got a great connection with Rocca and Canon Fee and Edna and Anne and T Plunkett and all the men over there who do the great work for Mother Angeline. You know, just that whole connection has been a real boost to us all in Moss End here, and the faith that, you know, it lets us see the universality of the church. We went to America and stayed in your convent, the Mary Manning Walsh home in New York, which was an experience for us, being in a skyscraper.
Yeah, it was very unusual being on the top floor and finding the convent. What floor is it, sister?
16.
The 16th floor of the convent.
I mean, for New York, that's not very big, but
It's not yet, but for us, that was quite high up. Yeah. Looking out the window and seeing everything so low down was
That's right.
quite unusual staying
Right.
there. But again, if we're going back to that, that was a wonderful experience for us being there to actually witness some of the work that your order obviously do there, and seeing that the care that, you know, that's given in these places really was absolutely amazing to see. And I was just going to come back to something there that you'd said about Mother's humility. Really was something, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, John, but I think she'd written in one of her letters or something that when she'd come back to Moss End, speaking about being embarrassed about the old folks in Moss End kind of fussing over her.
right.
She
Yeah.
wouldn't want to be fussed. Although I have to say, the hospitality, I could see why our community has that as one of the virtues that we have, because you can see it within the culture here. It's very embedded in this culture, and it's not just from those that know us, even those that don't know us. You can actually see that. You can see that as a just ingrained within her. It was just an automatic. It wasn't even like, again, the airs. It was that true humility of how to treat that person with dignity.
Yeah.
And I would say that Mother, as much as she was humble and like to be kind of in the background, when it came to having being the center of attention, she was a very strong woman and a very faithful woman. And it just brings, you know, looking and thinking in 1929, the obstacles that she was facing, just with in America, the crash of the financial crash and all those obstacles, but yet even just developing within the church and getting established in the United States. I mean, she wasn't in the United States that long to really, but she grasped the culture so quickly, and she just went forward, and it just, you know, and it's, you know, for the grace of God, and she just, you know, she said if it's, you know, meant to be, you know, God will allow it to happen. She let nothing get in her way.
that's the incredible thing about going to Avila and going to the Mother House is when you come from here in Moss End, our legacy is here and the people and in the faith and the church, but it's not a big footprint. So the house is still there. There's nothing special about the house. It's just a regular house. The church is there. It's a nice
right.
church. The school's there. But when you go to Avila, you realise just how big a dream she had, how big a vision she had, and how she managed to accomplish. That was incredible. The size of Avila's grounds, the novitiate, the church, even the fact she acquired that baronial building. You know, even the having a skyscraper and the building in Queens as well, the Ozanam. You just think how did a woman, as you said, at that time, a difficult time, leave here, and you can only say quite clearly that it is the will of God that she's embraced, and it's from that kind of that gospel we heard tonight about the mustard seed and how
that's
she must have
true.
had faith a bit bigger than a mustard seed, maybe a grape. I don't know.
Well, and like Father said, what are you going to choose?
Yeah.
You know, and I kept on saying faith. I mean, to choose faith is blind, and Mother was definitely, but she, there's a saying among some of the older sisters to keep your eyes on Jesus.
Yeah.
When you start to kind of like get a little wishy-washy, and you wouldn't be doing it these days, especially with all the challenges that we are facing, not only within our community, because it is a reality. Not everybody wants to jump in and be a religious like they did in the 60s or earlier on. If you're out there and you're doubting, I would probably just say, if it's God's holy will to happen. And I'm going to reiterate, I love being a nun.
One thing I do say, Brian will back me up on this one as well, the fact that you are so visible in your religious garment, your religious habit, your veil, is a powerful testimony. Just being, it's been a great testimony to me, seeing you and being with you in Scotland, walking about the streets. When you saw what happened today in Edinburgh,
Yeah, you've seen a few examples of that. So
It has.
yesterday
It's
at dinner.
overwhelming with people.
You don't realize. Well, and we're symbols.
Yeah.
We're
It's who
witnesses.
who we're representing.
And what I found very striking about when people see you, and this might be people who are maybe not even Catholic or maybe not even religious, they all smile. They all smile, and it makes them talk to their friend, or talks to their family
I
member.
think there was even a cheer for you this
Yes,
afternoon in
yes,
Edinburgh
yes.
Forgot about that.
as a group ran
The
by.
exercise group passing by.
No, it's a beautiful thing, and I think that the orders that do have that visible identity do grow pretty well. How is your order doing? Is there any more interest in
There
postulates?
are people discerning, which is that's why give people. I mean, we thought the same we're kind of countercultural. You don't hear people wanting to become religious, but and again, I think there's a strength within it. You're not standing really alone. You are standing. I'm standing with beautiful women like Sister Leda and those that are back at the Mother House, which is where I'm kind of, missioned right now. But you're standing with, and it's a very small world. The bigger or the longer I live, the smaller the world gets, in my opinion. You said the three, the Americans, the Ireland and now Scotland. The smaller the world. I mean, there was somebody that we met too today that they noticed us when we went through the other tour of one of the castles, and they were like, and then they came up and started talking to us as well. So it gives them that opportunity where humans can connect. Yeah, absolutely. Which makes it another avenue as well.
I was met two, while I was in the home and Mass was over in our chapel, two young women who, one of them had come a couple of times, and she's associated with the Knights of Malta. And she was honest with me and had said, I'm discerning a vocation. I'm not sure, and my mother is afraid of me entering. And I said, well, I can understand that, knowing my family and just their hesitation of, and she basically was saying that she had gone and interviewed with one community who was more or less like cloistered or semi-cloistered. Their work is beautiful work, but she didn't want to be closed off from her family forever. And that would have been the situation had she wanted to enter that community. But sitting, and she only wanted to maybe talk to me for like 5-10 minutes, but she stayed almost 45 minutes asking questions. And she was so relieved to know in our community, we're family oriented. So our family is very important, as well as the sisters. So yes, we have a family of sisters, but our own family, our blood family, is also, and that was fostered from Mother Angeline, because she always wanted us to take care of our family, and that was always, family comes first. Your parents, they are in need, you help them. So for them, they were more positive walking away, knowing that and I invited them to come and see the mother house or come and stay with us and try to do some type of vocational get together for them so they can kind of sort that out. And I'm hoping in the future they do come back. But it's just that whole, they wanted to know more about a mother and about the order and about what we do. And, were they allowed to go to school, or could they do this, or, do they have to, only be in church all the time? And it's a vocation. And I think Sister Theresa can correct me, but I think our work is also our prayer. So when we meet the needs of the elderly, especially when they're dying or that they really need the care and they don't have anybody in their life and we're there, that's so meaningful, not just for them and giving them, but it's meaningful for my own self when I'm there and I can help somebody on that journey. And it's just a beautiful journey, So being a religious and having the habit and being out as a witness, my witness is within myself and how I practice and being with the elderly. And, I don't know, I take care of somebody who's 104 to somebody who's, 65 because that's what their need is, and it's kind of a blunt reality when you see younger people or somebody close to your age coming into the nursing home. That mortality is there. And you just, where I always say, for the grace of God, there go I, because it could be any one of us that would need help, and extend our hand to that person is just to me is just overwhelming.
This is why your work is so critical. You have this culture of death, which is really encroaching. Maybe in America, there's maybe a bit more resistance to euthanasia and assisted suicide, but we are in a country on the precipice of bringing that in as law. So we have that statue is out there on the main road to remind people, that Mother and our order and yourself care for the elderly. These people have dignity, they have value, they have worth, despite their frailties or whatever's wrong with them. And life is worth living for them. And that's why we need more of yourself, sisters, to show, be that loving hand, that presence of Jesus and care that people very often get rejected at the end because they're seen as useless. Or
it's actually a celebration of life, and it's the continuation of that life. We've had people, I've had one resident, she was a Southern Belle, is what we would call them in the States, came in for hospice, and she lived almost 10 years after. So it's again, it's a celebration of life. Mother Angeline also felt that when we were taking care of the elderly or those that were naturally meeting Christ, with regards to death, we were on the vestibule of heaven, and they would be one of the last people that they would see before going up to heaven. So helping the families to walk them through that path, and also that resident. We've had residents who've sat by that bedside, 24/7, and has gotten up and went to freshen up, and the resident died. We've had other people where they're right there when they're taking their very last breaths, up to the fact that they took their last breath. Wherever it is, we're there to help them with that process. And again, it would be in the natural, for the Catholic teaching. We definitely are advocates for life.
Absolutely.
And the dignity of the individual. With regards to that as well, to help that family, because it's not just the resident who's going through that process, where Sister was talking about family. It's helping in that family walk through that process as well.
That's a good point.
So we're a family on multiple levels. We so it's yes, it is. We walk with the some, and it starts from day one. It starts from that interview. It starts with that, with the family coming in to look, to have access, to help. And a lot of times they're being bombarded with all the medical stuff. It's helping them to really discern and to process the information that they're being given.
No, it's incredible. And one of the legacy of Mother Angeline is just so huge. So obviously she's venerable just now. Maybe Brian, you can explain the stages of that and what is needed really now for her to become a saint. A saint for America, but a saint for Scotland and Ireland as well.
Yeah, so she's obviously that first kind of stage, stepping stone there, venerable. So I believe she needs another miracle then to take her on to blessed, and then a second miracle then to bring her on to sainthood. So she's really just kind of there. We're asking people really to pray to her and to pray for her intercession to get that miracle that they need in their lives, to bring her up to sainthood and get her recognised there.
Absolutely. So we're just kind of rounding up. You've all said this is your first time in Scotland. This is your second time in Scotland. You can tell us whatever you like here. This is a safe zone. What's it been like?
I love it. I mean, it really is a beautiful country, and the Scots are just beautiful people. I mean, you have been so very gracious and hospitable to showing us around, but just being there, and just you guys are beautiful gentlemen. And
I didn't pay her to say that, by the way.
I appreciate
your dollars on the post.
I appreciate my time with you. I know we spent some time in New York and had a windy, cold time in New York and but in here too. But that was expected, and it's just having people to bridge Scotland to myself, who I never have the opportunity really to come. So I thank Sister Theresa too, because I got to go on the tail of her coat to come here. So
we'll talk about the tail of your coats. You took us up the Edge in New York, which is a big tall skyscraper with a glass bottom, and that was terrifying. But Sister Leda was the one that was brave, and walked across it first. Then it was Brian, I think, was it next?
Yeah, and I think you crawled your way.
I don't like heights.
He crawled his way across.
I don't like heights, but we've repaid the favour this week because we don't have skyscrapers, but we did take you up Stirling Castle, up a high hill during the storm Amy, which was not the best idea. I think the sisters are still dried out, aren't you?
Oh yeah, we're dried out
dried
now. Now we're dried.
It was great though. I mean, I didn't mind the rain. It was kind of like, well, I'm wet, so what's the difference? I might as well just enjoy it. And I got beautiful pictures, going around, and the castles. I mean, that's something we would never have in America. Not unless they were manually built.
Yeah, of course.
Purposely, like in the 80s, 90s, but nothing in the centuries and stuff. We don't have that history.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of was beautiful for me, was just walking and knowing, oh my gosh, it's 800 years old, and I'm here walking in this building, and it's like, 1,000 years old. Yeah. And it's like, I just can't even fathom it now. So it's been great.
Oh, so it's been good. But sister, of course, we one of the things we found quite funny was that your take on garden centres in Scotland.
Well, in America, garden centres are just that. They're just plants. Yours is a little bit of a little stopover for like a little cup of tea and maybe a little sandwich or breakfast, or a sandwich in the afternoon. But yeah, it was, and then little gift stores in between. So yeah, it was kind of like our little Walmarts is what we call them back home. But I think that the whole this week or these couple of days, it hasn't even been a week. It definitely has been a period of where we actually, again, it made me think about the culture and history. I mean, we're talking history here. A castle, a couple thousand years old, and where it is, but it also brings it back to also a little bit with Mother Angeline. She has history, but it doesn't mean that it's stopped.
Yeah.
It's still growing and it's still going on. So her vision, just in some ways the same way with Scotland's, is still going on too. I think it kind of goes back to what you do with what you know or where you are and what you bring.
Yeah.
Kind of like, what do you bring to the table?
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. So we'll start. Who wants to go first with the Catholic quickfire? You go
I'll
first.
go.
You go first. Okay, so
I'll
Brian,
leave it to you.
Brian's got the timer.
You
we
know, I
have-
mean,
Well,
Okay.
you better help me if
So
I
we've
get
got, we've
stuck.
got a minute timer, and we'll see how many questions you can answer at this
Okay.
time. Be as truthful as you can, okay? Here we go, Sister Theresa.
Okay, are we ready? 1 minute, starting now.
Did you ever get told off in church?
did I ever
Get
get?
told off in church? Checked by your parents?
Oh yeah, when I was little, taking off my hat,
Do you prefer confession behind the screen or face to
face
face?
to face.
Face to face, good. What's your favourite prayer?
The Our Father.
Excellent. And of the two saints recently canonised, Carlo Acutis or Pier Giorgio Frassati, who would you prefer most?
Carmelites.
Yeah, interesting. Have you ever eaten meat on a Friday?
Yes.
Today? But it's allowed to
No,
you.
actually, it was on my father's. It was my father had died during
okay.
Lent, and of course his wake had occurred,
Of course.
and we didn't even realize it. It was
That's not too
it
bad.
was Italian wedding soup that the neighbor had made. Yeah.
What's your favourite liturgical season?
Unfortunately, it wasn't done on purpose. I'm sorry.
Your favourite liturgical season?
Christmas.
Oh, lovely.
And we're out
And
of
then
time.
I would say between Christmas and Easter. I like Easter for liturgical. Christmas because it's like a rebirth.
Excellent. Well done, our Catholic quickfire. Now going to Sister Leda's turn.
All
a
done.
minute.
All done. 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
And I just kept going. I'm sorry.
fire.
I'll give her the card a wee shuffle. Shuffle. Okay, so Sister Leda, here we are with Catholic quickfire. 1 minute time and we'll start, and we'll
Okay.
be as truthful as possible.
Okay.
Who's your favourite priest?
Favorite priest? Francis.
Lovely.
Pope Francis.
Which saint would be really good at the internet?
What saint? Oh Lord. I wouldn't even know what saint would be good in technology.
Have you ever fallen asleep during Mass?
Yes.
Oh, well. At least you're honest. What's the favourite Catholic item you own?
Catholic.
Item.
I would say the crucifix.
Oh, lovely. Do you remember the date of your baptism?
It would have been September. It would have been October 15th, somewhere around there.
That's good.
64.
Wow, excellent. What's your favourite Catholic hymn?
Here I am, Lord.
Oh, lovely. And we're out of time.
Yep.
So, thank you, sisters, for doing the little Catholic quickfire. And
Sorry, it wasn't very good.
no, everyone does it their own way. You know, I've asked priests, monks, sisters, nuns these questions. So it's really good fun way to see how people live their Catholic faith. So, once again, thanks for coming to the Pater Noster podcast.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
us.
for having us.
No, and thank you for coming to see us here in Moss End from America. We couldn't not have you on the podcast, coming all the way over the Atlantic to be here. So you're now going on to Ireland, and we send our wishes there to the community there in Dalkey, and also the Mother Angeline Society who will meet you there. So
I
all
look
the
forward to it.
all the very best, and you're always welcome in Moss End, and
thank you.
always welcome in Scotland. So
Thank you.
please
very
do
much.
come back, and we look forward to that day.
And hopefully we'll be back over to America
And
at some
please,
point again.
please do
Oh, the
come back
doors,
to
yeah,
New York.
Please.
And as
The
Canon
doors.
Fee would say, missing you already.